Hey Goodfellas, I hope you're doing great. Today I want to discover with you 3 beautiful Montblanc limited edition, just as I have promised you on Instagram. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, by the way. Okay, so we have 1 great characters, we have 2 Patron of art, and all of 3 are simply stunning, even if they're totally different in terms of style and look and design. I would say we start with the great characters, the James Dean, limited to only 1,931 pieces in the whole world. So what we have here is a beautiful barrel that is in 925 sterling silver with this engraving which reminds to the grill pattern of the Porsche Spider, where unfortunately James Dean died. And then we have this beautiful cap with the wood. Look at the grains of this wood, guys, just awesome. And this is inspired most of all to the handle of the gun that James Dean was using in one of his movies. Now, if we open it up, we discover it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fountain pen with 18 karat single tone nib, 4810 on it. And then on the bottom of the cap, on the top of the cap, sorry, we have the birth date and the date of his death. Just also look at these incredible details on the cap top, at these engravings where you have this mild and shining finishing, and then the clip which is in ruthenium. And then also on the barrel you have this beautiful quote from James Dean where he said, "Dream as if you'll live forever and live as if you'll die today." Just a stunning piece. If we move on further, we have something that is totally out of control. Let's say it this way. It's a Patron of art from 220, and you know it very well how much I love this piece, because it's, you know, so different than any other Patron of art that has ever been released, and it's just powerful and big. But when you uncap it, and yes, this huge part here is the cap, you have a fountain pen which is pretty reasonable in terms of size. You have this incredibly nice decorated turquoise pattern, petrol blue pattern on the cap. Just have a look at it. This immensely long clip with this red triangle stone. And then if we take the part of the fountain pen with the barrel, we have on the bottom where you actually unscrew the cap so that you can fill it up. Now, if you look at the part of the piston filling, it's actually inspired to a sacrificial blade that was very well known from the Aztecs, which had this kind of hammered obsidian blade. I think it's just stunning to look at it because with the light it gets all these beautiful shades. And then on the nib, again, beautiful engraving. This is actually the size of the nib of a Heritage, so it's actually so interesting. Let's look at it once again as a whole. Look how big it is, how huge. But then imagine, you know, being somewhere and pulling this off, just insane. People are gonna be scared that you're gonna, you know, kill them somehow. Then, last, we have the Luciano Pavarotti, another Patron of art, 4,810 pieces in the whole world. Luciano Pavarotti, we all know him very, very well. I mean, it's the incredible tenor from Italy. He was Romagnolo, and probably the most well-known opera singer of our era. Now, I think it's cool that they did it, because Pavarotti isn't, you know, didn't pass away since ages and ages, but it's so beautiful because he's been so important for the opera and for classical music that this is totally deserved to have a Patron of art that is actually an homage to Luciano Pavarotti. Now, if we take this beautiful edition, what we can see right away is this very special shape of the clip. Now, this clip, what does it remind to? Yes, you got it right. It reminds you of the scarf that Pavarotti would use after his shows or even during his shows. I don't remember exactly. Now, also, another very interesting detail are the 5 rings here on the cap. Now, these 5 rings represent 5 classical opera that Luciano Pavarotti is very famous for. And these 5 operas are Turandot, La Bohème, Rigoletto, L'Elisir d'Amore, and Un ballo in maschera. I mean, just try to listen to it. It's pure magic. It's gonna transport you away when you listen to it. And I think all of this beautiful fountain pen really transmits that kind of feeling. One more detail, I'm sure you can remember seeing Luciano Pavarotti with his floral and Hawaiian style shirts. And yes, it's exactly what the bottom part of the pen represents. Look at these beautiful flowers, this red lacquering. This is actually the piston filling mechanism, and I think it's a beautiful representation of that. I mean, just look at this insane beautiful nib. It's really awesome. And 3 pieces of art, and I'm really wondering to know which one of these 3 is your favorite. That's what I want to know most of all. Which one would you go for? Which one would you use? Let me know down in the comment, guys. And don't forget that together we are changing the game.